The Oculus Quest 2 can be blurry sometimes annoyingly blurry. In this video, we're going to go over the top 5 reasons why the Oculus Quest 2 might be blurry and what you can do about it. Let's focus in. Hey, howdy everybody, I'm Dr. Neil Gaiman, Dr. EyeGuy, and I do videos all about the eyes and what affects the eyes, and that's why I like to do videos about virtual reality systems or the optics of VR devices. And so let's talk about why this guy might be blurry sometimes. Number one, and we have to talk about this one, is if you are dealing with an uncorrected prescription. If you have nearsightedness, farsightedness, or the one that slips under the radars is astigmatism. You might have astigmatism and not really know it. Astigmatism can affect the way your eyes focus on things, especially for long periods of time. And so you want to make sure that you have an eye exam, make sure that you're not dealing with an uncorrected prescription, because that could definitely make the Oculus Quest 2 blurry. If you're not sure what astigmatism is, I did a full video on astigmatism. You can check it out right there or in the description below. For the next reasons, we need to go into a little bit more detail of how the lenses in the Oculus Quest 2 are made. Now, one of the big challenges with a VR device is that the device is really close to your face. If you've ever held your phone this close to your face and try and focus on what's on your phone, it's nearly impossible to make it clear. And so they had to come up with lenses that could focus on something that close and actually make it clear. In order to do that, they need a high magnification power of lens to focus on something that close. The problem is the lenses that have this high magnification are usually super thick and super heavy. And so they had to come up with something to make these lenses with high magnification, but also very light, so it wasn't going to crush your nose. So the Oculus Quest 2 actually uses something called Fresnel lenses, or hybrid Fresnel lenses. They have the same huge magnification power, but also very, very thin, and it still does the job. And how the Fresnel lenses work, instead of being one huge magnification slab, it actually does steps of magnification, and that's why you actually see rings inside the lenses. If you look at your Oculus Quest 2 lens, you'll see rings, and those are those steps of magnification to cut down on the thickness of the lens and also the weight of the lens. Now, having explained that, this brings me to reason number 2 why your Oculus Quest 2 might be blurry, and that is the position of the lens. The Fresnel lenses leave a very, very tiny sweet spot right in the middle that has the best vision and the best optics. The trick there is you need to have that lined up perfectly with your pupil. So positioning of the lens is critical, and you want to get the correct IPD, the pupillary distance settings, to match up with your eyes perfectly. And I went over how you do that in another video that I have about eye strain from the Oculus Quest 2, so make sure that you check out that video. Also put a link down below of how you can get the IPD correct. Another note is not only is it important to get it horizontally correct to match your pupils, but vertically up and down as well. If the strap or the head device is too high or too low, you'll be looking through a different part of the lens and not the sweet spot with the best vision. And you'll notice on the Fresnel lenses, they actually come in rings, and in the center ring, the center portion of the Fresnel lens is where you'll have the sweet spot, the best vision possible, the best optics. Now, the third reason actually relates to number 2, and that's to make sure that position of the lens is as close to the eye as possible. It's the same principle as looking through a peephole or a keyhole. If you look closer to the peephole or closer to the keyhole, that sweet spot is going to be a much larger view. If the lens is far away from your eye, that sweet spot is really, really tiny, and you'll just get this small fraction of clear vision. And so you want to make sure that lens is as close to your eye as possible. Now, here's what's tricky is if you actually get it too close, your eyelashes will actually rub on the lens, making the lens dirty and making the vision blurry. So make sure it's far enough away that your eyelashes aren't rubbing on the lens. Another tricky part is that if you wear glasses, that creates quite a bit of space from the Oculus Quest 2 lenses and your eyes. And so it's really tricky to find that perfect balance with glasses to be close enough to the lenses so that you can get a big enough sweet spot with the best vision. And sometimes people use those spacers into the Oculus Quest 2 to protect the lenses and to protect the glasses, but that can also distance yourself, distance your eyes from the Oculus Quest 2 lenses and make that sweet spot really small. And so see if you can get your glasses as close to the lenses as possible without scratching the Oculus Quest 2 lenses to make sure that you can see through that sweet spot, or make that sweet spot as big as you can. Now, the fourth reason why it might be blurry, and I kind of mentioned this before, is if you have something on the lenses, if the lenses are dirty. Even if you have the tiniest little smudge or speck, when you are that close to the lenses, that speck is really big and can take up quite a bit of your view and blur up a portion of the lens. So you want to pay particular attention to the detail of the lenses, making sure that every inch of that lens is clean. And so to clean the lenses, you want to use a microfiber cloth, something that's not going to scratch the lenses. Start in the center and do a circular motion, working your way out towards the periphery of the lens. And that will help it keep it clean from smudges. You can also use spray, but make sure that the spray that you use is approved for lenses specifically, so you're not spraying some kind of chemical onto the lenses that could warp or distort or ruin the lenses. And one thing to note here is if you're playing the Oculus Quest 2 and you're playing it for a while and you're one of those people that tend to sweat or build up a lot of perspiration, then you might notice that the lenses over time will get a little smudgy or blurry, and that's because you'll actually build up condensation on the surface of the lenses from your own perspiration or your sweat. And so every once in a while, take the device off and see if you have a buildup of condensation on the lenses that need to be cleaned off. Now, the fifth reason why you might notice the Oculus Quest 2 is blurry is the actual resolution or the text resolution in the device itself. There is a way to increase the text resolution in the device, and that's by installing something called Sidequest. And there are a lot of videos that can explain how to do that, and I'll link them in the description below. But by installing Sidequest, you can increase the text resolution, and it'll make the text and the picture of the Oculus Quest 2 clearer. But just know it's kind of tricky because if you increase it too much, you might have performance issues and battery issues. But there should be a good balance between making the text and picture clear, but also running smooth. Hey, make sure that you check out the description below. I'll put links to other videos down there that can help you download Sidequest, as well as other products that can help you with the blur from the Oculus Quest 2. Glasses inserts, as well as glasses spacers, head straps that I like. All these things can help you find that sweet spot in that lens that can help clear up the device. Now, here are some honorable mentions of why your Oculus Quest 2 might be blurry. The first one is God rays. You might notice these strips or streaks of light in the lenses of the device. And they call those God rays. You'll probably notice them most coming from white text on the screen. And that is because of the actual nature of the lenses, the Fresnel lenses. Because of those rings of stepped magnification, it causes those weird streaks of light. And there's really no way around that in the Oculus Quest 2 because of the limitations of the lenses that are in there. Now, one thing that I've noticed is that if you turn on the night display, the blue block in the Oculus Quest 2, it does cut down on the God rays. It doesn't get rid of them. They're still there, but it seems to make them less noticeable. And so try that. See if you notice them a little bit less when you turn on the night display of the device. Another honorable mention is that your eyes actually might be getting dry. Dry eyes can actually cause blurry vision, fluctuating blurry vision. And because you're actually staring at a screen for a long period of time, it can actually cause the surface of your eyes to dry out and actually cause this fog appearance or sometimes just blur coming from dry eyes. So make sure that you're actually taking breaks, that you're blinking while using the device. Also check out my other video that explains more about eye strain from the device, and I'll give you a few tips there. I'll put the link up there also in the description below. Hey, I hope this answered a few questions of why your Oculus Quest 2 might be blurry. I know that's one of the biggest complaints about the device, and so I'm hoping some of these tips helped at least make the device a little bit clearer, a little bit more enjoyable while you're playing the Oculus Quest 2. If you have any questions, make sure that you leave them in the comments below. I'm there to answer any questions that you might have about the eyes. I'm Dr. Neil Gaiman, Dr. EyeGuy, focusing on you and your eyes. Check out my other videos right there, and I'll see you in the next video.